So right now I'm going to show us how to take measurements for the bodies. I'm going to start with the bust, and when you are measuring, you stay behind. You dip one of your finger inside and you ensure that the tape rule is well placed at the bust. So the bust is 28. Then you take the measurement of the waist. Still the same process. The bust is, the waist is 25, and the hip you ensure that the tape rule is well placed at the fullest part of the hip. The hip is 28 too. So right now I'm going to show us how to take the back shoulder. So the back shoulder, the tape rule is going to go across the nape from the edge of the shoulder to the other side of the shoulder. And for the mannequin is 11. So since our focus is on the bodies, so we need the length of the top, which is 23, depends on where you want it. But for fitted top for the mannequin, 19 is okay. So we're going to take, and the front shoulder, if the need be, is 11 too. Because it is a child. So, and that's all. So let's go to the waist pattern. Yes, as you can see, this is the measurement calculation. So we're going to divide the bust, the waist, and the hip by 4. The bust is 28. If we divide it by 4, it's going to give us 7. And the waist is 25. If we divide it by 4, it's going to give us 6.25. And hip, if we divide it, which is 28, by 4, it's going to give us 7. And the back shoulder, we're going to divide it by 2, and is 11 by 2 is going to give us 5.5. So we need now to apply those measurements on our pattern. And how do we go about it? We need to have a starting point, which is our top line. We make the top line, then at that point you apply the back, and the back shoulder we're making use is 11. We divided it into 2, which is 5.5. So we're going to mark it, and from there we're going to make use of 6.5 for the armhole. So at the edge of the armhole line, we need to place our bust measurement, and the bust is 28 divided by 4, which is 7. So we are going to mark 7, then we roll it to the point. We need to add allowance. I'm going to add 1 inch allowance, which I've just marked. Then from there we measure the half length. and the half length we're going to make use is 12. Then that's the waistline. That's the waistline. So on the waistline, we're going to apply the waist measurement, and the waist is 25. 25 divided by 4 will give us 6 points, which I've just applied. Then you add 1 inch. Then at this point, we're going to join the bust line, the real bust line measurement, with the waist. So we need to extend the top to the length that we really want, which is 19. So at the edge, we'll apply our hip measurement, and the hip is 28 divided by 4 to give us 7. Then we need to add 1 inch allowance too. So we need to join the lines, the hip to the waist, as I am doing. So let me name it. This is our hip line, our waistline, and the bust line. So the next thing we're going to do is to shape the armhole. And how do we go about that? At the meeting point of the armhole line and the bust line, we'll form an angle 90. Then we'll mark the needle to get angle 45. So we're just using that to enhance our shaping. So we're going to join this to this. Then we'll shape it. So meanwhile, we need not to forget that our shoulder is sloping, it's not straight. So I'm going to descend it by half, which I just marked. Then I will connect it with the neckline. I'm using 2 by 2.5 to join the neck, to form the neckline. Then you join the neckline to the shoulder line. So this is our neck, and this is going to be the shoulder. So I'm going to insert that now, and the dart allowance I'm going to use from the center. This is our center front, and this is going to be our side front. Then now I'm making use of 2.5 to form the waist dart. So we're going to join the dart line together at the waist, from the waist to the hip and hip to the bust. So at the middle, on the waistline, I'm going to move in by half both sides. Then at this part, I will move up by 2 inches to form the waist dart. At the upper bust line, I'm going to move down by 1.5, then join connect the points to form our waist dart. So this is just the simple way of making a bodice. So now we are going to start the cutting, and before I do the cutting, we need to add 1/2 inch round to our pattern. As I am doing, then connect. So I'm going to connect together. So I'm going to add half to the armhole. Then at the shoulder too, I'm going to add half, and at the neckline, we're going to add half. Then we're going to do the cutting now. So far so good. This is our pattern, our basic bodies pattern. So we're going to use this to cut our fabric